Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to the 7th edition of the monthly Roundup podcast from RBG Esports. I am Dan, that one Dan guy, Stupradican, joined here tonight by Josh Randomize Arcia and Michael Me Swan Jr. Swan, how are you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing good. Doing good.
Very good. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, good.
You all are back from some travels that you've had in the last month. There's been plenty of buzz around RBG, moving about the country, playing in different tournaments, things like that. But before we dive into those tournaments, we've got a couple of quick announcements for you here from RBG Esports. We do have new jerseys. As you can see, our lovely model, Michael Swan, up there, rocking one of the new ones. Do you want to give everybody a little bit of an update on them?
They're nice. They're really nice. So the old jerseys almost felt kind of like a traditional sports jersey. It actually kind of... I actually went back and looked at mine the other day, and I picked it up and I'm like, this feels like a football jersey. Like, it feels like that same athletic mesh material that like my middle school and high school football jerseys were made out of. And after rocking this at DreamHack Montreal, I felt cheated.
To be fair, the company who made our old jerseys, Acquire, they started as like a sports.
They were actually
like surfing and stuff like that. But no, the new jerseys, they're so soft. They feel nice. I don't feel hot in them the whole day. Like the old jerseys, they're great. They keep heat insulated on your body. But like when you're actually hot, I'm sweating more than I should be. Whereas the new jerseys, like I wasn't sweating. I felt comfortable. They're actually like they stretch to you, so you don't feel stuck in the jersey.
Yeah.
Like if you're bigger in a certain part of your body, it will stretch to that part of the body. So no, I love the new jersey, and I can't wait.
They captured the whole fractal design thing that we wanted. A nice solid black stripe. Got the logo. They even took our horizontal logo and put it on the back, right at the base of the neck. It's so cool. There's lots of room for sponsors, so give us that call. But
I made sure to tell the designer to turn originally both sleeves were red, and I told the designer kind of turn it on the diagonal way, so that one sleeve was red, one was black. Perfect for sponsors. Some of the sponsors with red in there, they're a couple I can think of off the top of my head. They go on the black side. Any of them that are any other color goes on the red side.
Well, just so all those sponsors beating down our doors do know how much time they've got ahead of them, those new jerseys will be available to the general public when?
We're still working on that.
Yeah. So we knew we wanted to make the change for the jerseys, but we did that. We committed. We committed to it. And then realized our timeline for WGN and then DreamHack Montreal. And we were like, we need to get a jersey done quickly. And we tried to get it done for WGN, but the jerseys arrived at Seabass's house the day after he left.
Yeah,
of course.
So the Rocket League team didn't have them for WGN, but then they had them for DreamHack, and we were able to get Subin and Forky rocking the jersey as well.
Same with Halo.
Same with Halo for their tournament. But
yeah,
we have the jerseys designed. The rest of our merchandise is being designed as we speak. So I would say in the next 2 weeks there'll be a brand new store available to you if you go to RBG or www.rbgesports.com, and there'll be a link that says shop, and it will take you directly to our store with Sector 6.
Yeah. So with that, once that's done, we are shutting down the old store. So anyone that wants like OG jerseys, OG anything with the old logo on it, like now's the time to get it, because once the new store comes up, we're closing down the old store, and those will be unavailable probably forever.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. You've got a limited time for sure to get your throwback original jerseys, but we've got some brand new ones coming for you. You can be styling just like Mr. Swan here. As another opportunity for our folks at home, the Helix LAN is coming back to New Jersey Saturday, September 21st at 6 p.m. with a $300 prize pool. It's going to be another 2v2. And Josh, I assume you'll be there again to talk to the folks and see this one through.
Seeing that I'm probably the closest staff member of RBG to Helix, then yeah, I hope I'm there. I'll actually be running it alongside with WorldCar, aka Dan, not this one, the other Dan, our event coordinator. Yeah, it'll be on Saturday, the 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Will be streamed and all, and it's probably gonna be a smaller event, but it's gonna be a nice event to get some community members around. $300 split up in 3 ways. I think it's like 120, 80, and 60. If I remember off the top of my head, probably I think those are the first, second, and third prize. And it's a nice way to get to hang out with some of the community in the area. And it's literally the same day as the last qualifiers for RLCS or RLRS play-ins. But we decided to do it at 6 p.m. because the actual qualifiers start at 1 p.m. Eastern. So by that time, you're either probably eliminated or you're playing in the losers bracket if you're still playing for any reason. So more the reason why more people should be available to come out to the event. It's exciting. It always comes even when it's a small turnout, we still have a lot of people that do come out and enjoy the event. So if you are in the New Jersey tri-state area, you're more than welcome to come. It's $20 if you sign online with your teammate, and it's $25 if you sign up at the door. 32 player cap, or 32 teams cap, 64 players. So if you got a friend, make sure to sign the both of you up. Not crazy amount of competition at the moment, but people tend to like to sign up last second. So
we look forward to seeing it and putting it on for you folks at home. If you are not in the New Jersey area, though, we do have Gauntlet number 35 coming up September 25th. If you are a bit out of the loop, our Gauntlet has gone to bi-monthly. That is 2 tournaments per month, $75 prize pool each time they go up, single elimination as always. And we do have the entire Gauntlet number 34 from just last week up, available on YouTube over RBG Esports. So feel free to check that out. You'll see myself join with the wonderful Hunted on the cams that evening. We had a great time. Feel free to check that one out. There were some wonderful games.
I also recorded some other stuff too on the other side.
Yes, and we have some of our earlier bracket games there available as well. But speaking of wonderful games, Gears 5 just drops. How are you guys feeling about that, both as a fan and as a competitive scene?
More importantly than Gears 5 dropping, they were hot to trot with Gears 5 Esports.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, the announcement for what looks like to be the competitive ecosystem for Gears 5 came pretty quick. Nothing has been like fully announced and fully laid out as far as like what the plan is. But let it be known that there are people at RBG Esports interested in fielding a Gears 5 team. So let's
I mean, the fact that the esports, they announced that there was going to be a Gears 5 esports before the game even came out. Then the game came out, and then they tweeted out saying, "Hey, we're going to get information out." About a week and a half later, esports information is out. Like, we already know that it's going to be seasonal. So they're like every I guess like league play and all that is per season: fall, winter, spring, summer. If you make it in playoffs, it's paid for, so the players can go, and we don't have to be stressing about it. And the fact that I have always been a Gears fan, I've always enjoyed the game. I love the BM in Gears. There's people out there that don't like it. They think it gets a little too hectic or it doesn't represent your organization that well. We're freaking gamers. So sometimes the curse words are going to slip out, and sometimes they're just fun. I mean, I grew up in Halo, so BMing is common. And I've always thought it. I've always loved it. The Gears 4 Escalation playlist was the esports playlist, and Gears 5 Escalation is the esports playlist again, and it's even ramped up more, and I fell in love with it. If you don't know about it, check it on YouTube. There's they have a whole explanation of the new play style, and I love it. I've been playing Gears every time I get home. I have sat down and played Gears because I just think the game is really good. So I would love to get RBG involved in Gears of War.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. We'll have to keep our eyes and ears open to any and all of our social media over on Instagram, on Twitter. Leave a comment on the YouTube video. Hop into the Discord. If you or someone you know is very interested in breaking into the Gears scene and you think you might have the skills that it takes, RBG is always willing to listen. But moving on just a little bit to our current rosters anyway. The Rocket League roster had a big weekend just recently as they went to DreamHack Montreal. Miswan, you were there for the entire weekend. What was that like?
It was rough. It was a fun weekend, but a rough weekend.
Understandable.
The roster's at a point where they feel like they can go toe to toe with anybody, and we've seen them do it. They had a great win against NRG in the Rival Esports Summer Open that turned into a not great showing against Birds and Bees later on in their next series in the bracket. But then their scrim schedule got pretty heavy and a lot of positive results coming out of that. A lot of learning opportunities. But most importantly, like, we were taking series off of our direct competition and our competition for spots in RLCS, and we got to DreamHack, high hopes. The expectation was make day 2. If we make day 3, like, that's awesome. As Base said, our new manager for the roster, if we make day 3, like, we're popping bubbly. Like, it's like that's gonna be, we count that as a win. Day 3 is a win for us. And we started it really strong. We had a really good scrim. We had a really good series of scrims leading up on Friday. The guys felt really good. We get main stage, first series out against Ghost. Just take a very commanding lead, 2-0. And honestly, we still don't really know what happened. The replays,
a bit of a rough one.
The replays just got released from DreamHack, so Subin's going to be going through, and I'm sure the lads are going to be going through and really dissecting everything that went on to figure out what happened. Because the general rule of thumb is if you get a team down 2-0 in a best of 5 or down 0-2, the odds of them fighting back and getting 3 wins is tough. Like, it's hard to do. Ghost pulled it off. Silent Echo did a good job keeping that roster motivated and on stage, which is tough. But it set us up. The boys were just rocked. They got dazed, basically. They had a really easy series against Monkey Business, and then our direct rival in Plot Twist was our decider match for day 2, and that's a series I would say we have 70% of the time, 7 times out of 10. I think we're taking that series, and it didn't go our way. So we got knocked out day 1. Really unfortunate, but we spent the rest of the weekend just getting work done, making sure we got video, headshots, and spent a lot of time bonding with the group, making sure that Subin, Forky, Aeon, Rapid, Seabass are basically a cohesive unit. Making sure every part of the team feels connected and unified is really important. Camaraderie and all that is as important in Rocket League as individual skill. So we took the time to make sure we did that. Had a lot of really good team dinners. When explored as much of Montreal as we could as time allowed, and we had a really good weekend. It was a lot of fun. There should be plenty of vlog content coming out soon. Our editors are working on all the video that we took. But now the focus is league play. Rival Series league play comes up in October. Big announcement came out earlier. 10 teams in Rival Series.
There's going to be a lot of hot contests.
So we're adding 7 teams to the league through play-ins. 6 teams will keep their spot. More importantly, the top 4 will have its own playoff. Rival Series will have its own playoff for top 4, and the top 2 of the playoff will basically get those promotion tournament spots. So had we had that last year or last season, the real possibility of us sneaking a series away from Birds and Bees or even the Peeps, I think, The Peep series last season was actually pretty close for us. I think we pushed that
It
to. Did we push Birds and Bees and Peeps to 5 games?
We pushed everybody to 5 games. The only team we got
was Plot Twist, right?
Swept was Plot Twist.
Yeah. So
which was not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that series was, we got swept 3-0, but it was like all 1-goal games, super tight series. Our record and our finish in rival series last year really didn't speak highly of what we actually accomplished and what we did. So if we had a top 4 playoff last season, I mean, we may or may not have made a spot into the promotion tournament, but I think this season it gives us the freedom to not be so bent out of shape over a bad series. Because had we won the Plot Twist series, we're right in that conversation for finishing 2nd or 3rd in rival series. So we're excited. Everyone's really excited. Can I announce that we're getting ready to do new deals for the team? Can I say that? Yeah. No. I can say that. We're gonna. Yeah, I definitely can say that. We're working on new deals.
I'm just being
yeah. Yeah. We're prepping new deals for the team. We want to keep basically everyone surrounding our Raggedy team. We want to keep them here at RBG, keep them happy, and have this be their home. And we've been really proud of what we have done and what we're going to continue to do. And hopefully next season, RBG's and RLCS.
Hopefully. And Dan's mic is muted.
Dan's muted.
I'll say whatever I want when I want to say it. My decision if you hear it or not. Well, we are all very excited for that eventuality that we get to see RBG in RLCS. I know it's something that's been a long time coming and that all of the staff here are very excited for. I definitely think this edition is going to be good both for the fan base and for the competition for RLRS. So we look forward to seeing that little bit longer season, a little bit more games in there. Definitely be a good time.
I'm actually not sure if they're going to extend the season. I know more games will be played, but I don't know if they're going to expand the number of weeks the season is.
Yeah,
but
from what I heard, it's just they're adding one more week, and that's because it's the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
But apparently it's like doubling up the games on weekends. So these guys are
exactly.
Yeah.
I actually see it all day.
But it's solid. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
In other more uplifting news, our CSGO roster is off to a wonderful start in the ESEA Advanced season with their first victory coming hot out of the gates. What more do we have to expect from them in the coming weeks, Swan?
They just wrapped up ECS Pinnacle Cup play. It wasn't as... The finishes, again, it's one of those things where the finishes don't actually show the amount of work and that they put in. But we were one of like 2 or 3 ESEA Advanced teams in the Pinnacle Cup. Like that...
In the qualifier, yeah.
Well, the Pinnacle Cup itself is a qualifier, but like we made it through.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
That tournament itself, that Swiss tournament, is built of MDL and like low tier pro teams. So the fact that we're an advanced team up there and keeping it close with some of the best teams in the world is really, really good. We had a really tough series against Oceanus GG. They're our direct rival, basically, in Canada. They're ranked number 1 in Canada. I think we're the number 2 Canadian team, which is really weird for me to say, by the way. that we're a Canadian. That we're a Canadian CS:GO team.
Yeah. 3 out of the 5 are Canadian.
So. 4 out of the 5 have Canadian citizenship. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Plus the coach also is Canadian. So
the coach.
Yeah.
It's only the manager and the player.
Yeah. But still, lots of good learning experiences coming out of ECS. That's a 16-team tournament, and the top 2 progress up to ECS Pro League. So like we knew we were a long shot. We knew there's a chance. There's a chance that we could do it, but we knew going in that it's going to be a long shot. We're going to treat it as a learning experience because we want to get experience playing MDL teams and top tier competition in CS:GO. We will definitely want that experience. And I think that's going to translate really well into ESEA. Unfortunately, Oceanus is also an advanced team. They're one of the other few teams. Like there was like only 2 or 3, I think. It was us, Oceanus, and I think one other. But I think this roster finished 9-7, I think, in last season. I am pretty confident that we can squeak out like a 12-4, 13-3. I think give us some like plus minus to like lose a game or two, but this is a very good roster. They have a very good coach in KJ. I know we announced him the last podcast, but the fact that we have the former head analyst for both Team Liquid and TSM as our coach, that's a super hype moment for me. Anytime that we have the opportunity to steal away talent from a tier 1 org, I will take it hands down every time. So KJ's been awesome. I'm really excited about where we go with ESEA. We're going to try and find some lane opportunities for the roster as well. So it should be good. Look to see us in MDL in season 33.
Very exciting. And if you'd like to keep up with one or both of these rosters, either the CSGO or the Rocket League teams, I know, Josh, you said recently that you've been using the Strafe app, I believe, will have the scheduling available. And there you are. So you can get RBG Esports Rocket League. You can get RBG Esports CSGO right to your phone, let you know when every one of our games are, where you can find it, all of those things. So that would be a wonderful way for you to keep up with us so you can stay directly in the loop with our score reporting and our standings in every league. But moving on to another one of our teams here, Apex Legends is still off and running. I know they just had one of their first major international tournaments randomized. How are Vro, Circola, and Liquid looking as we head into whatever the next steps may be for Apex?
So yeah, I mean, like you said, there was the big preseason event that just happened. Sadly, we weren't able to get there. It's kind of hard to get out to Krakow, Poland when you're an American team. But our guys are hungry for an event, and there was a company called Battle for the East that reached out to us, and they asked us if we would like to play in the tournament. We just registered for it today, literally right before recording this episode, and they are ecstatic about going to this event. They've been dying to do something, and the fact that like their first official event is a LAN, not some major event online, makes them very happy. It's actually in the same exact spot as the Halo Classic event that we'll be talking about after this. So for me, it's perfect. It's right in Atlantic City. I live in New Jersey. It's an easy drive for me, and I know the whole layout just because it's going to be practically mirrored to what the Halo one was, and they didn't even know that. I told Battle for the East that's what what they said they were describing to me was exactly the same thing. So I thought it was hilarious, and they were cracking up too. But yeah, they'll be playing October 5th. That's a Saturday. I don't know what time yet. And basically, the way it's working, it's a pub stomp, which is exactly what our guys are good at. And if anyone doesn't know what that means, you just go into an unranked match, and you go and you eliminate as many opponents as possible.
You play the game.
You play the game, and you try to get you try to be the kill leader, basically. You know, there's 60 people in one game. Take out 3, because that's the 3 of you. So you're left with 57 people, and you try to get 57 kills if that's possible. Obviously, it's not. But if it was possible, that'd be amazing. But that's the idea. It's a best of 3. What that means is for 2 hours, they're going to let you sit down. You play for 2 hours straight, continuously just getting in and out of the game. And then your top 3 most kills in the game will be accumulated. And then the top 4 teams of PC and the top 4 teams of PS4 will go into a double elimination bracket on Sunday, where you'll see us, because we know we'll make it there. And yeah, they'll fight out on a double elimination head-to-head, best of 3s or best of 4s, and then see who will win. And I think it's a pretty big prize pool, actually. So,
yeah, I think first place walks away with $6,000, so it's pretty awesome. We're really looking for this to springboard us into what's going to be announced soon for Apex moving forward. There was a tweet that went out today from Respawn talking about how they have an idea of what the ecosystem will look like for essentially pro Apex Legends. Basically, we essentially didn't get to make it out to Krakow because we didn't have a finalized roster. The Apex Legends roster was pretty tumultuous for us. We had a really good start to Apex We had a lot of good finishes in some of the ESL stuff, but the roster kind of petered out and it almost fell apart right before the X Game qualifiers, and so we didn't participate. So no one knew who our Apex team was. And as much as we talk about how good they are at pub stomping, they take down top tier competition in ranked. I have plenty of clips of us of row 3 or 1v3ing space stations. So our guys are liquid too. Like our guys are good. We've been waiting to find opportunities to show off how good they are. And Battle for the East, I think, is going to be that first stepping stone.
Yeah, no, I'm ecstatic for this, and it's literally like a little less than a month away, and they'll be able to rock out the new jerseys and hang out in New Jersey with me. So I'm happy with that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be exciting indeed. LANs are always a good time, as we've so thoroughly established here for this episode. August was a very good month for them, and surely September and October will be as well. Speaking of which, though, Halo had a bit of a tumultuous time at the Classic event in Atlantic City over this last weekend. It coincided with the same weekend as DreamHack Montreal, so I know, Josh, the C-suite had to split itself up a little bit, and you got to spend some time at the Halo tournament.
Yeah, so I mean, day 0, basically the Thursday, was media day. That was a lot of fun. It was really cool. You know, when you see these events and you see these interviews happening and the players walking around and doing all these cool things, walking in out of smoke. I got to be there and I got to literally watch it being done. All the background stuff it was a lot of fun to watch. The players enjoyed it. They thought that it was like the coolest thing doing media day. They felt awkward because they had to walk down the boardwalk, and a lot of old ladies at like 10 o'clock in the morning were just staring at them as they're trying to like swag walk down the boardwalk. It was pretty funny watching them trying not to laugh. That was honestly probably the most fun day. And then Friday started pool play. We had our first 2 matches because there were 3 teams in each pool, 4 pools, and then the 4th team or the 4th slot in each pool was filled out by an open bracket team that like didn't drop a game. And our first 2, we were in pool 1, which had seed 1 and seed 8. So we had Tox Gaming in ours. They didn't win the event, which was mind blowing, but they were one of the top teams there. And we were expecting to have a rough time against them. The seed 8 team, the Goobers, we expected to beat them. And it went absolutely the opposite way. And it wasn't pretty, you know. We weren't happy about that. Saturday came along. The open bracket team came in, and it ended up being a bunch of ex-Halo players, like pro players, which kind of happened to us at Dallas, except it was reciprocity, which were current pro players. So you could say that we got bracket screwed a little bit, but at the same time, if we're trying to prove that we're pro players, we should be able to beat the pro players. And it didn't go that way. And then when we moved to the championship bracket, we actually landed in the top 20s. We didn't even get top 16. So we actually had a worse result from Dallas than, we've had a worse result from Dallas to Atlantic City. We didn't progress. We were expecting to hit at least top 12, top 8. We were scrimming teams online. We were beating them. Some teams that made it farther than us in the championship bracket, we were destroying them online. But that's the nature of Halo. Online is a whole different beast compared to LAN, and people are a little different, not just because of LAN pressure, but it's more of literally the connection is better. So from that, it looks like we may be doing some adjustments from the roster. We're looking at multiple options at the moment. We do know who we think we want to completely drop from the roster, and we're going to make that announcement soon to the players soon. But Swan put a lovely quote here that was going around as a meme. And I love this quote. Jason Lake even tweeted it, and it was hilarious. Swan, you want to go ahead and read that?
God. It doesn't like super apply to us because we don't like, if we're being like RBG, we don't have the resources that like a Complexity or an Astralis or an Energy or a Cloud9 has at the moment. But as far as expectation, team culture, what we want to accomplish in esports. This as much as this is a meme, like this is a big deal to me. I found it really funny that like Jason and I forget his name, but I think the CEO for Team Liquid also tweeted it out. There's between the international and the Berlin Star Ladder major, a lot of teams were memeing on this quote. Yeah, but it's the whole, I love our players as individuals, but these results just won't be tolerated. If you're a tier 1 player looking for a fresh start at the best facility in the world, hit me up. I'll pay your buyout and give you the world's highest salaries. Let's build a juggernaut. Spread the word. And as much as I want, like, we're going to make changes. Like, Josh kind of beat around the bush a little bit. We're changing this roster. We haven't made a decision as to how that's going to change. But we brought the same roster from DreamHack Dallas where we finished top 16 to Atlantic City. It's the same roster. You spent time grinding, working as a team, trying to build that team cohesion, developing that skill set. And I didn't get to watch a lot of play from Atlantic City. But if there's one thing that's like not excusable, it's undisciplined play at LAN. Like, that's why you go to LAN. Because you consider yourself one of the best teams in the world. You're going to go and you're going to play balls to the wall, be on your game, be crazy, be awesome. And if you can't set a pick or like hold the formation or whatever your setup, or hold your set and hold it, like, you don't have business trying to play at the pro level. Mm-hmm. So as much as that's a meme, because there's no way any team out there is going to be like, oh yeah, let's build a juggernaut. This highest team salaries, because that's like how esports ecosystems get royally screwed, because the ecosystem gets hyperinflated because of player salary. But let it be known, RBG intends to stay in Halo, and I want to be considered a top 10 team in North America. And we'll find ways to make that happen. So let me know.
All right. RBG has thrown down the gauntlet. Look out on the socials on the website for when these roster announcements and shakeup do come through. But until then, just keep your eyes peeled to the Twitter and all of those socials like that. We'll keep you guys updated throughout as we make our changes here. One thing that is not changing, though, is Villain's continued success in Hearthstone. He got some money out of his trip to Seoul recently, and he is now qualified for the Bucharest stop of the Masters Tour.
He qualified for Bucharest before he left for Seoul.
He did indeed.
This kid's a nut. Like, he's
crazy.
He went to Seoul. Like, I think he ended up finishing 7-5, right? Yeah, 7-5, because he made it to day 2. 7-5 in a 300+ person Swiss tournament. It ain't nothing to scoff at.
And he took out a big name.
Hey, he took down a grandmaster, so that's someone who's like top 50 in the world in the game. Mm-hmm. And he also took down like other like top legend players, people who consistently go to tournaments and play really well. He lost like the matches he lost, like those were just unfortunate 50-50s. Like, he's sitting there DMing us between matches like, I had lethal. Like, they had a 5%, like, the thing that would have gotten them out of losing in that best of 3 happened. like he's got them at match point. He's ready to win. He's ready to finish it out. He's got lethal on the board. His opponent has a 1 in 20 chance of getting out of this situation. And I think that scenario occurred 3 times. He lost all 3 of those games. Super unlucky. Like,
yeah, we were talking to Villain throughout in the Discord, and he's having some bad luck there for sure.
This kid has top 8 potential, and I feel it in my bones. He's gonna do it at Bucharest. He's gonna do it. Right. It's gonna be nuts. I'm excited, and
I can't wait.
I'm not sure what the plan. There's gonna be a plan of action. Either myself or Random or both, or maybe someone else will be going with him to Bucharest. Villain's going to really cool places. We need to be filming that. Like, I was super upset that we couldn't get anyone to go to Seoul to take photo and video. Because
hi, my schedule's free.
he's getting the opportunity to travel to a bunch of really cool places. We want to make sure we get that documented and show that off to everyone. And more importantly, him making top 8. I want that on video, not just on the stream. Like, I want either myself to be there and video it, or make sure someone's there videoing it so I can see. Like, I want that raw emotion because Villain is so passionate about Hearthstone. Mm-hmm. We're gonna I just want that. I want that encapsulated so I can put it on YouTube forever.
Well, if you want something that already is on YouTube forever, feel free to go back and check out my sit down with Villain pre his Seoul stop, because I would imagine he's going to be going through some of the same preparations and tumultuous times there with it. That was his first time properly out of, I should say, leaving the continent.
Mm-hmm.
That was his second time technically leaving the country.
We're actually
going to Bucharest is going to be a big event for him yet again.
We're actually upping the ante too. I believe we're setting up, or we're helping to set up, him doing a mini boot camp in London as well. Mm-hmm. So he's going to go spend a couple days in London with some Hearthstone players, get set up on like pseudo-European time. The time zone difference between GMT and Romania is, I think it's 1 or 2 hours. But it would be no different than flying from like Dallas to San Francisco. So like jet lag is not going to be a big deal. So he's going to have a couple days to get over jet lag and then get to Bucharest, hang out, enjoy the scening, get to see some of the city, and then go play some really tough Hearthstone. This is the last Masters tour stop, and there's a lot of people are unhappy.
The third one he's been to.
The third one he's been to. A lot of people are unhappy with the Grand Masters stuff, and I think we may see the opportunity of some North American Grand Masters drop out if Villain can eke out a top 8. If he wins, we may see Villain promote up into Grand Master status, which would be insane. There's a lot of really cool. As much as we gripe on Hearthstone for them basically eviscerating what was so great about Hearthstone Esports, there's still a few things for us to look forward to and to celebrate.
Very exciting, and we will definitely be celebrating Villain going off once again to represent RBG. We will keep you updated on our socials on how you can find him along the way. Check out his socials. Make sure you stop in, say hello to him, give him some hype, give him some love as he goes on yet another journey for us. But once more, we are so very excited for you, Villain. It's great to see you out here doing big things all across the world for RBG. Headed a little more locally now to our very own community Discord. Feel free to reach out to us there in our Discord, on our Twitter, things like that. We like to take every month. We will submit a call for questions for this podcast so that we get a chance to talk with you folks at home. So feel free to hit up your YouTube comments, tweet at us, come in the Discord and drop us a link. Find it all below. Do the thing. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know what you want to know about more. So tonight we've got 2 community questions coming in for you. This first one from Devil asked, how many players and subs are there for each roster? And that's something that we go through a little bit every time as we do our roster updates, but I'm not sure it's always clear necessarily. How many folks go into each of these teams? Because our Rocket League team now, all the way up to 5 people for a 3-man game.
It's actually actually 6.
Yeah, to make it clear, it's 3 players on a roster, 1 sub. They got a manager and a coach. CSGO. 5 players on a team, 1 sub, a manager, and a coach, which for us, actually, our coach is not our sub anymore. We actually have a dedicated sub. Apex, you have 3 players, a sub, and we don't have a manager nor coach for Apex, but those are also there as well. Halo is 4 players and usually a coach. It's not very common to have a manager in Halo, but depending if Halo Infinite comes out, we'll see. Gears of War, since we talked about it, 5 players, coach, sub, and probably a manager. So it's another, I can count, 8 people. I was like, I had to look here and look at my fingers. Hearthstone, as many as we want, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah, card games, fighting games. If we have enough money and we wanna home or house another player, we can. So
Right.
not saying that we're recruiting at the moment. Just to clear that out. We're always open to seeing new players and hearing you out and seeing whether or not we want to put you on the team. But at the moment, that wasn't on recruiting. Just to clear that out, I don't need my DMs to just Hearthstone.
Oh my.
Maybe Magic the Gathering, but no.
But I do think that is a good question, Devil. Thank you for submitting it. That's one of those things that we like to talk about here on the monthly roundup, is give you a little insight into what it's like to work in the world of esports. And that's something that I don't think everyone always realizes, is the support staff that surrounds the people that are up there on main stage on camera.
We caught some flack for our announcement of Base as our manager for Rocket League, because in most cases that coach position functions as a manager.
Yeah,
like that is usually one person, coach and manager. There's a few people like in the Rocket League community. It was like, oh, you have 6. How many people does it take to run a Rocket League team? Like, you got 6 people on this roster.
As it takes to win, dang it.
Basically, like it's 3 starters, a sub, a coach, manager, 1 or 2 people for that, and then not to mention all the support staff. Like, if we take a moment and talk about what went through for Rocket League, for RBG. Base, we weren't able to get Base there because that announcement and his addition to the roster came too quickly. But Base ran point for social media from England. Like, he was, when he wasn't at work, or even when he wasn't.
England.
Yeah, like
make that even better. From England.
The lad lives in Wales. Like, yeah. He's running our social media for Rocket League from his home in Wales. On top of the fact that I'm there with the roster and the coach. Josh showed up too, so I mean that eased a lot of what I had to deal with. Rabbit can be a handful if you see him. If you've seen that boy, if you see him, if you've ever seen him in person, that boy's a monster. So like, it takes not just that. Like, Jakester, our one of our newest staffers,
social media team has been killing it.
Yeah, but like, there's, besides the actual listed roster, like all those the starters, the sub, the coach, the manager. There's a ton of support staff within an org, whether it be content creation, helping get announcements or content for social media, editing videos, prepping announcements or PR stuff. Like, we picked up a real late meet and greet thing at DreamHack, which was cool to do, but it wasn't a DreamHack is not a Rocket League thing. Like, there's not like 1,000, 2,000 people fan wise that come out for Rocket League to DreamHack. Because it's much more of a broadcasted production anyway. So, like, we did a meet and greet, but there's like 3 people that came, because at DreamHack, you're there to play games, you're there to have a good time. You don't think about what's going on over the activity center. Yeah. But still, like, Jakester and Base did a phenomenal job of creating art assets and getting content prepared for us to announce that we were doing that. Like, it takes a lot to run a team. Like, to do like a quick summary of it, just so you can get the idea. We were like I was doing the finger thing, right? And I couldn't count, obviously. So we have our 3 players. We had our coach on the stage. We had our sub who was there, and it was also streaming. Then we had Base in the background doing social media work. We had Jakester backing him up while also editing videos. You had me and Swan recording and editing and coming up with ideas for the videos, all within a spot. And that happened in a span of less than 24 hours. 9 people were working at the same time, all for one game. Mind you, that Friday, within the 24 hours of Friday night into Saturday, I was working with the Halo team. And again, it was the 4 Halo players, our coach, because we had a coach there. I was doing a lot of the video work. Also, I forgot to add that I was also doing the Instagram social media. So that was happening too. And then I was sending a lot to Jakester, who was also helping, and he was pinpointing the social media over there as well, while sending stuff to Dan, the one you're looking at right now, asking for advice of what should we put up. And then I just said, screw it, Dan, just put it up for me. So it's 8 people again. 8, 9, happening within 24 hours of doing some work. And now the rest of the staff is working behind the scenes, going over stuff, basically going over how to run all that. So it's not done. It's like
the players don't play and then we all go to sleep.
We got like 9 people for like 9 people working one event. Some of the same 9 people, and then more people working another event, and then WorldCar is planning a LAN while we're at DreamHack. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. Like, I knew before we got into this circus. We'll call it a circus for now. Before Josh and I decided we're going to do this a year and a half ago. Like, I knew there'd be a lot of moving parts. I knew there'd be a lot of crazy stuff. I didn't know it'd be like this. I didn't know it'd be like this crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's fine. It's cool. I'm excited. Every
time it gets bigger and better. And more exciting.
Like I've done more traveling in the last year and a half than I've done in a long time, and it's been great.
Same. And it's been a lot of fun.
It's been great.
Sorry, we knew that was just a question about how many players and subs, but it was something we had to get off our chest.
Yeah,
for sure. Were going off about it.
Oh yeah, you guys love to
subbing. It's not even that. Like subbing, I envy subbing.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because the guy he doesn't do social media. He has Twitter. He just retweets stuff. He doesn't participate in anything really. And so I'm sitting there at the event and I'm like, oh, like I'm looking at dumb tweets. I'm like, and especially like things that involve the team. I'm like, God, I want to say something, but I can't because PR, and I can't really dive into this. And he's like, just don't worry about it. I'm like, I wish it were that easy. But
and then Base does it for us, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. It all works out in the end.
Yeah, but no,
well,
it's been good.
Not to quell your enthusiasm for all the wonderful work that our wonderful people are doing behind the scenes, but we do have another question coming in from MRDZ from our community podcast question box, and they asked if there was going to be another Dota Underlords tournament. This happened just a few weeks ago. WorldCar, Gingerbeard Senpai, and Cools all collaborated to make our first Dota Underlords tournament, and randomized. You're in there.
I just got thrown right off the shit.
You're the CEO. You're involved in everything.
I was the guy doing the stream that day, man.
That's a fair statement, though, Dan.
4 hours of me just like. Anyway, you have to realize I had to listen to everything, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't play this. I don't know. Okay, it just said someone's name clicking. I don't know. It was literally the whole time of me going, I don't know what's going on, but this is fine. 4 hours of I don't know what's going on.
The good news is, though, even if Josh may still not know what's going on while he's streaming it, we are getting a better handle on what is going on while we are running the tournaments. And yes, you can rest assured, MRDC, there will be another Underlords tournament coming soon. Keep your eyes peeled on the Twitter and on the Discord. We will have announcements up as soon as a date is planned, but I know based on how enthusiastic everyone's response was to it happening, the amount of people we had just asking for a wait list because we filled so fast, the amount of people that came together as a community and helped us struggle through our first unstable steps into this kind of tournament organization were phenomenal. We have so many people that we would like to thank that I can't even begin, because there were so many community leaders coming through, helping us out, helping our staff out, and I think everyone had a really good time. So I would be shocked if there was not another Underlords tournament coming very soon.
Yeah, just to clarify it exactly, because we've been getting questions about a lot of events that are coming around. Because of all the other events that are going on our esports side, we have a very small staff, and this staff works on both ends. Even if they have one title, they're still helping in another title. And because we're such a small family that works on a big project in multiple spots, not just one big, but multiple spots, it can get a little tough. And right now, what it's really coming down to is figuring out how to run enough events without burning our staff out and without boring out the community, because we don't want to be hosting it a million times. People are like, all right, I get it. By the 10th one, that's why we're elongating the gauntlets. People don't get boarded out by it. There's more money in it now, so people can enjoy it and then try out other events. And we're just testing the waters in like a lot of different games, because basically the idea is from like here on out, we'll know every game. We'll be able to run it. I've been able to kind of beta test it on the stream end. WorldCar will be able to beta test it on the running the event side, and then from there, if either of us for any reason is not unavailable, we'll be able to train whoever's to step in to do it. There's a lot of work that goes on in the background just to host one event. So we test the waters with a lot of them. We go over it. We have notes that we write down so that we know what to do the next time something happens. But like Dan said, don't worry. There will definitely be another Underlords tournament. It went really well. Like we said, it booked within 5 to 6 hours.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
We posted it at 11 p.m. Eastern at nighttime, and I was like, oh man, everyone's gonna miss it. 5 hours, 6 hours later, I woke up to a full thing, and then messages upon messages saying, "Where's the wait list? Where's the wait list? I want to get in. I want to get in." And we're like, "Whoa!" Mind you, only 2 people didn't show up.
Right.
No, that's the wild part. It was a 64-player tournament, right?
Yeah,
yes.
and
only 2 people didn't show up.
62 people played.
62 people played.
We averaged 30 or so teams for Rocket League, and like 6 of them don't show up. So
yeah,
like
I mean, there's 3 people. There's 3 people in a team. So one of them doesn't. Yeah. We do open up to allow 5 players on a roster. That's a whole other story. We'll get into another later.
That's fine.
Dan, I think we should have a show where you just allow Swan and I to just rant. I think we need a show.
It will come soon that we will get just a rambling stream of consciousness from Josh and Swan. But, here for tonight, it is Sunday the 15th. If you are seeing this, any of our references to today, tomorrow, last week, just in case. But it has been a wonderful evening joining you all once more for the RBG monthly roundup. Whoa. It has been wonderful joining you all once again for the RBG monthly roundup. I've been doing too much of the Gauntlet and kind of tripped over.
This is where we battle it out now.
Yes, this is where we fight. But as always, it's wonderful to talk with you lovely people at home. Feel free to hit us up on our social media if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see for episode number 8. And until then, we're going to get back to it with all the social media, with all of the lands, all of the travel, and all the gaming that we need to do. But very much looking forward to it, and thank you all for joining us here tonight.